Hey guys, Max here, and this is gonna be my 1000th video. I had 1001 because for some reason, like, the number kept clicking up and down, but that's beside the point. This is gonna be my 1000th video, and a lot of things have changed since then. I didn't realize I was even so close to this milestone until after the vlog video was posted. And me and Aaron started talking about it and realized, like, how much has changed in my life, and just as a channel, how much I've changed overall. So I want to take this video as an opportunity to reintroduce myself, talk about a little bit about myself, like my past is super quick, how I got married, how this YouTube channel started and how it originally was, go through the history of my channel, and see what the future one takes us. This is going to be a lot more personal, a lot more laid back, I'm trying to think like other intelligent words. Yeah, a lot more personal, vloggy, laid back. Maybe not the most interesting thing in the world, but it's really cool for me to like talk about going. That sounds weird when I say. It's kind of interesting to me to kind of like look back and see how things have changed. So I thought maybe it'd be interesting to you guys as well. So my full name is Max Frederick Pinkle. I was born on March 7th, 1995, and I lived for almost my entire life, or my childhood rather, outside a college town in South Dakota. In high school, though, we moved to a farm out in the country where we raised goats and chickens, literally for fun. I graduated 2013 and joined the Navy in 2014. Left all the training that I do, boot camp and ATA school and stuff like that, and got to Japan. I'm not gonna say specifically where. Japan in September 2014. I'm trying to like have all the dates go through my head, and I've been there ever since. My entire life, I've enjoyed video games of pretty much all kinds, martial arts, anime, sword fighting, adventuring, exploring, all sorts of things like that, or sci-fi, definitely a big fan of sci-fi. I already said anime. Yeah, I've kind of been a fan of that my entire life, so if you think this is a new craze, it's not. You know, when I like sum up my life, all like that at once, makes me sound really boring. I don't know, just like rapid fire, bam, that's the history of my life. So some of you may be wondering how I got, married and stuff to Erin. To put it simply, the place that I worked at, she worked at for a year before me. And for about a year or so, we didn't really know each other just because I was super shy, she was kind of super shy, and neither of us were, like, directly working with each other necessarily, just because, like, positions and stuff. So it wasn't about a year later, so sometime during 2015 that, like, sections got moved around, and we started to work together. And we just started talking, and before you know it, we were really good friends, and we, like, do everything together, went on adventures, went out exploring, talked about stupid things, so yeah, we became really close friends. Then in about September 2016, Erin had orders and had to leave, which was really sad because, we would like go everywhere and do lots of things together, so that was very sad. But we kept in touch, we kept talking, and I remember this specifically because it was November 8th that I had hernia surgery. So you may pull up right now. You may notice that in some of my videos I have a beard. That's because that's when I was on medical leave. Because after my surgery I was off for 2 weeks. And just for you guys who don't know, a hernia is basically like, imagine this is your stomach lining, right, that houses all your organs. Well, imagine there's like a spot that's weak and like your organs start to push out like this. Sometimes it's done just because you overexert yourself. Sometimes it's hereditary. Mine was hereditary. And yeah, the surgery is basically they just like open you up, put some chicken wire in there, and close it back up and sew it up and you can go. It's not actually chicken wire, but just for sake of example, it's chicken wire. And I remember that day specifically because I had to wait 6 hours or so in the hospital because there was some emergency cases. So I was like, oh, okay, cool, fine. Do that first, totally. Well, it wasn't my choice, but still I was like, oh, that's totally fine. Okay, it's emergency, I'm stable, it's okay. And I was just texting Erin, and while I was under for the surgery, she messaged me saying, when you're done, I need to Skype with you, this is really important. So after the surgery, I rushed home, and she told me about, oh, I never mentioned this before, she was an avid atheist before, but something happened in her life, and she became a Christian. And I'll admit, I've tried to ask her out a day before, but she kind of only really saw us as friends, and she decided to start actually dating. So we started dating through Skype and stuff, even though she was in, like, she had orders somewhere else. Did I say that? Yeah, I did. In September, she had orders and had to leave in Virginia. So we just Skyped, like, must have been like over 3 hours every day I was on leave. And that was about like 2 or 3 weeks or so. And we just kept talking more and more, and everything just clicked and worked together. And then don't mind me if I just like keep looking up, in about, wait, no, yeah, well, I forget the exact dates, but for Christmas that year, I invited her to join me and my family for Christmas, and we got engaged. She said yes on December 23rd. Yeah, December 23rd. It's like, terrible husband, forgets the dates. Then we were going to get married on April 1st, mostly because nobody believed that we were actually dating. Nobody believed us, so we were like, alright, let's keep this joke going, let's get married on April 1st. But we bumped it up because we were trying to get it so I would get orders to Virginia. That didn't really pan out. And we got instead married on February 22nd. February 22nd. I remember. The vlog video that we sent, which was the one I was talking about, that was video number 999, was actually us on our honeymoon around like different places in Japan. We just wanted to take a few weeks off, which by the time this comes up, I'm done with it, and I was able to settle back in and get to work on other things since I needed time to work on it. So yeah, in a nutshell, that's how we met and how we got married and everything. The other thing I should talk about is the origin of my YouTube channel. So it started around November, December, that kind of area of 2012. My parents were looking into making like a farm community Facebook, YouTube page kind of thing, with the idea of different farmers from all over being able to talk to each other, share information. That was a big focus, sharing information, sell each other things, make each other offers, things like that. Just a place for like everyone to come together, around like South Dakota Farms kind of thing. So I helped them a lot. Actually, the page is still open. It's called Shrike Farm. I'll post a link in the description, because my dad actually was doing some teaching videos, and he's like, I can't talk, but he's a really good teacher, and it's definitely very interesting if you guys ever want to check it out. But the point is, I helped them a lot, but I didn't really have that much to contribute, to be 100% honest, just because I'm not a farmer. My mom and dad and sister got way more into it than I did, just because I was like, this is not my field, kind of thing. So I decided to make my own YouTube channel, which was totally fine. It's just the thing of like, this is going to be your YouTube channel, you're paying for it, you're doing everything. And I was like, alright, cool, if you guys need help with your stuff, I'll still help you out. And yeah, that's how it started officially. I think the first video, I could be wrong about this, was January 13th on 2013. Ironically, 1 year later is when I joined the Navy. Like exactly 1 year later, I think it was like I left for boot camp and everything. That was good times. So yeah, that's basically how my YouTube channel started. The original idea was that it was going to be focused on like walkthroughs, guides, tips, things like that. I wanted to be someone that like people would be like, oh, help with this boss. They would come to me. So that's what I wanted to do. I also wanted to do educational videos, as I was, so when I originally started, I didn't really watch any other YouTubers except, I think, Vsauce. And Vsauce is a really good educational channel. If you guys are ever bored, definitely go there. You can learn a lot of cool things. And I was really inspired by them to want to do educational videos. And other than that, I didn't really have any other, like, inspiration, guide. I just wanted to do a YouTube channel. So yeah, that was the basic vision. I mean, like, of course, generally be entertaining, but to help people and to be generally educational. So I actually typed up, it's on this nice folded piece of paper, the basic history of my entire YouTube channel. And I kind of just want to go down it just because it's kind of cool to see how things have changed. So the first thing I need to come up with was a name and a logo of some kind. The name originally, for those of you who remember, was it was Level Max Christian Gaming for the Masses. I call that because level to the maximum, my name is Max. Christian Gaming because games I was playing were generally clean and I personally don't swear, and for the masses just because I want to make it be like this for everyone. The name was later changed to Level Up Max Gaming though, because it was catchier and shorter and it sounded better, and that idea was actually given to me by a chief that I worked for, a guy that I really respect, whose name I will not drop just in case y'all decide to follow it. He was a really good guy and a really good role model for me. The logo itself, I'll admit, was a lot harder to come up with. I know you guys like just took the sprite from, I think, Pokemon Platinum, a porygon-z, and called it good. And I was like, well, yeah, that's true, but I had to really sit down and think about it, just because I'm like a little bit self-conscious about my face, so I didn't just want to like put my face on everything. Maybe that'll change in the future, I don't know. But I eventually was like, hey, what's my favorite Pokemon? Porygon-z. Look through his sprites. That could work. Enlarge it. This works perfect because, you know, it's looking towards the camera. I can change it. It's cute. It shows emotion. And I generally like it. well, I generally, I really liked it. On an off note, I'm actually thinking of like editing it a little bit just to make it so it's a lot more personal. So let's see, over here-ish will show the original, and over here-ish will show like a prototype of the color change that I'm thinking of. It's not set in stone yet, but what do you guys think? Just, the purpose is just so it's not blatant copywriting, you know, that kind of thing. The next thing I should talk about just real quick is my educational videos. So if you look like really early on my channel, you notice they kind of pop up often, then they start slowly like becoming less and less and less, and before you know it, they're gone. They're just gone. I haven't done one in years and years and years. The reason for that is because, one, it's a lot of work. It is a lot of research, and I didn't have time for it because I was in high school and stuff, and I was like working on other things, and it's just like pumping out the main stuff for my main channel took a lot of work. And secondly, I just ran out of ideas that like really spoke to me, that really interested me. The last one was whatchamacallit, Minecraft, if the Earth was square, what it would be like, and that was not much research. And ever since then, I just kind of moved away from it. So yeah, don't expect any more in the future. The first actual game I started on was Pikmin, and if you go back to the Pikmin videos, you'll notice the quality is the most deadest of awful in just about every way. And the reason for that is because I had no editing software, editing hardware, recording software, recording hardware, microphone, anything. I didn't have anything. And I was, as I said, I didn't watch any of the YouTubers, so I was literally just beating my head against it and figuring everything out. Like, I recorded Pikmin originally with a tripod camera. That was it. I didn't have any editing software, so I had to start immediately, immediately start talking, and the moment I was done, I'd be like, thanks for watching, I'll see you then. And I would just take that and post it straight to YouTube. It was bad. It was really bad. In hindsight, I wish I waited and like saved up some money to get basic recording stuff. But it was also a really big learning opportunity. I learned about posters. I didn't start editing Porygon and like titles and tags and descriptions and how I want to do videos and stuff. I learned a lot. And I chose Pikmin because I played it before and I really enjoyed it. Really simplified game. The day system made it kind of perfect for like breaking up episodes into like half days and stuff. So it all worked out pretty well. But yeah, someday I think I'll go back to Pikmin. Maybe not Pikmin 1, but I want to do Pikmin 2 and 3 sometime for YouTube. The thing is though, I've already beaten and played them both, and like beaten them to 100%. So that's why I'm like a little bit reluctant to, but I feel like the games deserve it. But I don't know. Next up was originally going to be Ocarina of Time. However, when I finally saved up and got some recording software or hardware, I forget exactly. I think it was like Hoppage or something like that. I forget what it's called. But the Nintendo 64 didn't like it, and at the time I completely forgot that the Wii has an eShop that you can go and buy old games and just record off that thing. I completely forgot. I don't even know if I knew about that function at the time. As I said, I wasn't really thinking that hard, to be 100% honest. But Twilight Princess, so I chose Twilight Princess 7. And Twilight Princess is a huge growing moment. Like, you see like a little bit of growing in Pikmin, and then in Twilight Princess there was a lot of growing. I got some basic editing software and stuff. It was like some super cheapo blotto thing that I used my laptop. I recorded with a microphone. That was my laptop. Eventually using the camera of the laptop, and then was able to put it in the video. Didn't figure out cropping though for a while. I kind of wish I did. That was also when I started messing with the polygons. Like, sure, you look at this polygon, and then like you see the ones in Pikmin, it's like a slight change. Then you see the ones in like Twilight Princess, and you're like, oh my goodness, these are super detailed. And then you remember the ones I make like nowadays, and it's like, oh, that's nothing. And it's like, yeah, but it was progress. It was a big jump for me since I never really did that much pixel art. So doing that was a huge advancement for me. One thing I will admit though about that series was the length of the episodes. Once again, I was like very focused on doing walkthrough gameplay kind of things, but I didn't want the videos to be long. Like, many of them didn't even the majority of them didn't even exceed 10 minutes, which is fine when you say it out loud. You're like, okay, so they're 10-minute videos. That's not bad. Yeah, but some are like 5 minutes. They range from like 7 to 9, and the series just went on way too long. And yeah, it just was bad. It wasn't until the next series I started like figuring out time frames a bit more, and even then it was still kind of bad. And the next two games I did, one of which wasn't actually posted for a while, but still kind of started at the same time, was Kirby 64 when I did figure out the eShop thing, and Kirby's Return to Dreamland. Once again, I kind of stuck on the Wii for a bit, because it was I kind of didn't, like, buy a Wii until, it was like years and years. Yeah, it was, I forget how many years, but it was a few years after the release, and I was poor, so, yeah, I didn't have very much money, like, so, yeah, like, I got a Wii, and I was like, I love this thing, and everyone's like, that thing's like 4 years old, but that's beside the point. So, what was I saying? So I chose Kirby 64 because, once again, real simple formats, level by level, and I 100% completed it. And then Kirby's Return to Dreamland, which wasn't posted until after Pokemon X, I wrote it down, after Pokemon X, was actually a series that my sister joined me. A note for you guys, if you plan on doing YouTube, don't have a co-host unless he/she knows to spend a lot of time, and they recognize that there's a lot of time. Because of that, I didn't get to post it until later. Kirby's Return to Dreamland was also really fun, though, because it was the, beginning of the death counter, which we did for fun, but you see later on in Dark Souls 2 and Dark Souls 3, just because, like, ours was, like, super simple. It was, like, just one sound effect, little grave thing, and that was it. While in Dark Souls, they got way more advanced. But that's kind of, like, where the idea of it started. Both the series were a lot of fun, though. I really enjoyed them. But it was still, I'll admit, very much so in my comfort zone. I was still playing games that I've played before, which later on I started to move more away from. You also noticed during that time that I made animations. Like, I made one or two literally just for fun. And later on, different intros to things like Shadow of the Colossus, Majora's Mask had a lot more detail in the animation. It's just because I was playing with it in school, so it got, like, better and better and better. But I've kind of moved away from now because, once again, time constraint. The next series I did was Crash Bandicoot Twin Sanity, which I want to say I did to 100% completion. I could be wrong about that, so if I am, forgive me. But I want to say I did to 100% completion. I chose that one just because I wanted to move to, let's see, excuse me. Yeah, before then, all the games were Nintendo, and I wanted to branch out into more things. So I chose Twin Sanity because I always loved the Crash Bandicoot series, and, yeah, Twin Sanity was a fantastic game. Once again, very layered out, very simple, this level, this level, this level. And yeah, I really enjoyed it. Next up was actually two series, Ocarina of Time Master Quest and Pokemon X. So, both of those got kind of like an odd history. This also was when I started doing like multiple series at once. So Ocarina of Time Master Quest was an emulator. So if you guys want me to talk about my full opinions on emulators, like ask in the comments. I don't really want to like go into a big vent just about it. But to put simply, I wasn't necessarily proud of it, but I did it because it was the only way I could record Ocarina of Time Master Quest. Because, as I said before, I wanted to move away from games that I've already played before. Not like, it wasn't a complete shift, but it was like, okay, I want something new. And I really wanted to play Ocarina of Time, so shut up, phone! Shut up, phone! Can't tell me what to do! But I wanted to move away from that kind of, like my safe zone, essentially, which is why I did Master Quest, because sure, it's the same game, but it was different dungeons, so it was pretty fun to do it that way, and I really enjoyed it. It was a long series, though, if I remember correctly. It was a long series. And also, Pokemon X. So, can you pull up a picture, future me that edits this? So basically, how I recorded my 3DS, since I didn't have, like, any way to record at the time, was I took a stand that you, like, let's say this is a laptop, right? And the stand is designed so that you can slide the laptop in, like this is the keyboard, like this. And that, then I would plug it up with the wires, and it would record the 3DS upside down. And then I would just flip the footage, I had pins in to make sure 3DS was always in one place. And yeah, like, I'll admit, the detail is awful. It's 100% awful. But I thought I was pretty clever figuring that out, and it turned out pretty well, to be 100% honest. It's just at the time I didn't have anything. That was fixed later on. There's also the two series that probably have the most notable intro videos. You'll notice that, like, over time I kind of got away from intro videos just because I realized, why have an intro video when I can just start the series? Metal Gear Solid is an exception because it's like, hey, I need to tell you guys, I'm going to be doing 5 different games. And I forget if I announced Peace Walker in that game too, but in that video too. But yeah, I'm going to be doing 5 different games in the same franchise. Probably should tell you guys about it. But it's kind of moved away from that over time, although I'm not gonna lie, I really enjoy doing those kind of sketches. I really enjoy doing those animations, so maybe in the future I'll incorporate them in other things, but I just kind of moved away from it over time. Y'all enjoying this blathering? Because I'm just rapid fire going through my history. It's also worth mentioning that about halfway through Pokemon X was when I joined the Navy, so I had to like rapid fire record all those videos and all that series as quickly as possible before joining the Navy, so that way I'd be able to post stuff, which later turned into Skyrim and Spyro, I think. Skyrim and Spyro, yeah. Spyro, once again, was an emulator, and I never played Spyro before. I've always wanted to, but I haven't. So I was playing a lot of emulators at the time, and yeah, I really enjoyed Spyro. Spyro was a good time. I chose it because I like the idea of Skyrim being like, oh, it's a game you eat dragons, and then Spyro being a game that you are a dragon. I thought that'd be kind of fun, and I had a lot of fun with Spyro, but Skyrim. Skyrim. And why am I doing this? It's unprofessional, I know, but in hindsight, I either would not have done Skyrim, or I wouldn't have done it the way I wanted to. Because, okay, so as I mentioned to you guys before, I started to figure around, or maybe if I didn't mention it, around Kirby and Crash Bandicoot 2 Insanity, Ocarina of Time, and whatchamacallit, Pokemon X, I started figuring out lengths of episodes a bit more. I got a little bit longer, kind of tried to focus around 15 minutes to 25-ish. Oh, of course, I didn't always keep that, but I tried. And Skyrim is such a big game, and on my own, I 100% completed Skyrim, but I wanted to do it again because I thought it'd be fun. And I still had the mindset of like doing a guide, and I still had the mindset of like playing games that I played before. Skyrim is actually, yeah, Skyrim was like the final straw of that, because it's such a big game, and I insisted on going down the paths of every single quest, the alternate paths. I regret it. Yeah, and it was on the hardest difficulty too, if I remember correctly. And I regret it. I regret it so much. Like, it just sucked my soul. It killed RPG, open world RPGs, or whatever you want to call them, games for me. Like, because of Skyrim, I haven't played a game like that in ages. I know what you're saying is like, oh, but we play Dark Souls. Yeah, that's different. I haven't played a game like Skyrim, or even just like a bunch of different open world games, because it just burned me out from it. Yeah, doing it once on my own, alright, cool. Doing it again and documenting everything, and like hours and hours and hours of raw footage, it was just painful. It was just 100% painful, and I definitely regret doing it. Some people ask me if I ever was going to do like Morrowind or Oblivion. I might in the future, but if I do, there's going to be some changes. For example, I'm going to do what I want. I'm gonna look up like the main quests and be like, alright, let's just focus on the main quests, and then on that I'm gonna do what I want. If I do any like side quests or like side things or whatever, it's gonna be because I want to, and then I'll just like primarily focus on the main quest. So it's like, oh, okay, I'm on the main quest. What's the storyline of Oblivion? There's like these gates to hell or something. I don't know. So, oh, I'm going towards this gate of hell. Please help me, my cat's in a tree. Okay, cool. I'm gonna do the side quest because I want to, not because I have a list, but because I want to. So, will I do them in the future? Maybe. But Skyrim burned me out. When did Skyrim finish? Skyrim finished, like, well into Dark Souls 2. Yeah. It was a long series, and it burned me out, just being 100% honest. So the next game I did was Shadow of the Colossus. Once again, on an emulator, because I didn't have a PS2, a way to record it, and I need to, like... Okay, so essentially, since I'm in the Navy, I need to have as few physical items as possible in case I have to move. So that's why it's like, okay, I can't haul around all this stuff. So that's kind of why I resorted to emulators and a lot of PC gaming, to be honest, because it's just half my laptop. We're good to go. So you may notice that Shadow of the Colossus, when I played it, was way slower and not as beautiful as it was supposed to be. And if you're wondering why, now you know. It's because it's an emulator. I'm saying out loud. Once again, if you want me to do a video explaining my personal opinion on emulators, tell me, I'll gladly do it, but I don't want to spend the time here. Shadow of the Colossus was a lot of fun though, I really enjoy it, and part of me, just because I play it on emulator, kind of wants to do like a stream of it later on, like sit down and just beat the entire game on PS3 all in one go. However, I'd have to learn how to stream off of PS3, learn about streaming in general since I've never done one, and it'd just be if you guys wanted me to do it, or make streams a regular thing, because I don't know, part of me thinks it'd be kind of fun to do streams. I just, like, my schedule's constantly changing. You know, I can't really predict the future that well, so, I don't know. But if you guys want me to do a stream of Shadow of the Colossus, gladly, I would love to, 100%. So the next game I did was, whatchamacallit, Pokemon Omega Ruby. There we go. Pokemon Omega Ruby. And that was definitely a big advancement, because I had let me grab my 3DS. Ads can't see me. Let me grab my 3DS. So this is the 3DS that I use. Like that spit. The 3DS that I use. You may notice that if I like bring it real close, so you can see it. Lighting may not be the best for it, but you'll notice that there's an extra port right there that's not supposed to be there originally. So I found a place that that can mod it, and they don't only mod 3DSs, they mod like Vistas. I'll put a link in the description. They have like PS Vistas, PSPs, Wii U, just a bunch of different things. It's based in Tokyo, and I didn't know about it until a friend of mine sent it. Wait, no, I think I like did some more research, because I was like, oh man, I really want to play Omega Ruby. And yeah, I did some more research and I found it. It's a really good service. I definitely recommend it. Check it out. And yeah, I played Omega Ruby with it, which was way better than doing it with the one stand. Don't get me wrong, I like the stand for, you know, historical sake. By the same token, I'm like, thank goodness I'm done with that thing. One regret I will say with Omega Ruby is that, similar to Pokemon X and Y, I kind of had an obsession with, just Pokemon X rather. I kind of had an obsession with catching every Pokemon I saw, including legendaries, whether or not I was going to use them. That changes later on, and I'll explain why. The next game I did was Ocarina of Time Majora's Mask. This time I kind of had an excuse that it was new because it was re-released on the 3DS, and I was stoked. I haven't played Breath of the Wild yet. As I make this video, I have not played Breath of the Wild. But if I had to like make a list of my favorite Legend of Zelda games, Majora's Mask would probably be at the top, to be 100%. I love the story, love the gameplay, I love the 3-day mechanic. I think it's really cool, and yeah, like that game to me is a fantastic game, and I loved it in my childhood. So it's actually why, I know you guys haven't seen it in a while. It's a little dusty because it's been sitting up there for a while. It's actually why I got this, because Majora's Mask is one of my favorite games ever. But yeah, I had a lot of fun with Majora's Mask, so that one went all well. I remember downloading it like the day I could. I was like, yes! So yeah, that was a good time. Also, I should point out that around Majora's Mask was when I started doing reviews. So it was kind of like my outlet where it's like, oh, I'm not doing educational videos, I'm not doing animated anymore. I really want to do reviews. I started watching more YouTubers, I was inspired by them. I'll talk about that later. And yeah, I just started doing them. The problem was, though, I kind of fizzled out. I think the first one was Don't Starve, and the last one was Katamari Damacy. And I kind of fizzled out with them over time, just because time constraints, because I was doing a full-time job, I was working on college, and I was trying to pump out normal videos. How would I have time to work on normal with you? And I'll talk a bit more about that later. I really enjoy doing them. They're really fun if you ever just want to like look back at them. But yeah, I'll talk more about that later. The next game I did was Dark Souls 2, and I chose that because I love Dark Souls 1. I forget if Dark Souls 2 was the first time I ever played Dark Souls 2? Or, words. I forget if my YouTube playthrough of Dark Souls 2 was the first time I ever played that particular game. But I loved it so much. I loved doing the DLC. It's where, as I mentioned before, the death counters came back in. They got like really varied and only more complicated as time went on. And yeah, I had an absolute blast with it. I loved that game to no end. And if you guys are curious, yes, you're going to be seeing more Dark Souls games in the future. The next game I chose was BioShock Infinite. I chose that game because during the time, like, in my free time, while I was editing videos, I normally like play a game, and I was playing BioShock 1 and 2, and I loved them both to no end. So when it came time to be like, oh, next game is BioShock Infinite, I was like, I really, really want to play this game for YouTube, because I was told it's mind-blowing, it's awesome, and it was fantastic. I loved playing it. I'll admit, a lot of people have said, like, oh, it seems to think real highly of itself, it seems to be shoved up its own bum, because it's like, oh, I'm so clever, and maybe it doesn't deserve all that. Maybe it doesn't deserve the most praise for it, but I thought the game was really clever. It was a lot of fun. I think it was roughly around then, or maybe the next series, I started figuring out cropping for videos, so that made things a little bit better, just a little, you know. But I had a lot of fun with BioShock Infinite, I'm not gonna lie. And I also chose it just because I kind of want to branch out into more genres again. Okay, so looking at my list, right? So you got Pikmin, which is real-time strategy. Some Legend of Zelda games. Hack and slash adventure, action, whatever you want to call it. Action adventure is always such a weird title, because like it could mean anything. Cooking Mama could be an action adventure. Kirby, level-based platformer, if you want to call it that. Twinsanity, level-based platformer. Pokemon is Pokemon. Shadow of the Colossus is its own weird thing, and then Dark Souls and Skyrim is hack and slash inspired platform. So I kind of wanted to get more into shooters, and I'm not a big fan of shooters, except for the story-driven, like, okay, so Call of Duty, Battlefield, screw those, I don't care about those. But, like, Bioshock, Half-Life, those kind of ones, I liked a lot more, so that's why I chose Bioshock Infinite. The next games, okay, these guys. Let me just, as long as I keep using props, let me just grab this. Five Nights at Freddy's. 1, 2, 3, and 4. I call those games my real first incursion into horror. Because I forget if it was during or like right before, but I played Dead Space. I don't really count that just because it was fun, it was enjoyable, but it didn't. It would jump scare me. I remember, I talked about this before, but I'll talk about it again. I remember playing it at, I was on leave and I went to my friend Ethan's house. He's like, okay, so I just got off, like, a mid-shift, so, like, I want to hand you this game, tell me what you think of it, but I'm going to go take, like, a 30-minute nap. And I was like, alright, cool, man, that's fine. And, I remember for the first, like, 15 minutes or so, I was scared. I was freaking out. Like, my guy in the game would be like, like that. But then after 15 minutes or so, it stopped being scary. And like maybe a new monster or a new element would come in and I'd be like, oh, and then it would just stop, like, oh. Like, you know, they'd play the music and everything, I'd be so, and it's supposed to like freak you out. I'm sitting there going like, alright, so 3 guys from over there, 2 from there, 1 from behind me. And I'd be right. Or like I'd see bodies on the ground, I'm gonna be like, alright, that one, and that one. And I would get it exactly right. It just stopped being scary. I don't know, like people told me Dead Space 2 and 3 are also really good, so maybe I'll get around to those eventually. But it inspired me to start horror games. For real horror games. And how to sum up my feelings? Well, okay, I should tell you guys that after Sister Location I did like a final talk about Five Nights at Freddy's, why I'll never do them for YouTube again. Unless it's like a joke video. But, I like everything about this series, except for the gameplay, and how it's just random number generator, praying for all you're worth. Like, it's so conflicted, because it was my first incursion into real horror, and it got me, it really got me, but, and I don't regret playing them, but when it got to those like harder and harder levels, I just lost patience because it wasn't about skill anymore. It was about random luck. That's basically in a nutshell. Because like I'd be doing everything right, but like okay, so the most famous example was in Sister Location. Just in a nutshell, there's this animatronic that can come from left, or for you guys, this is whichever direction. You know, for me, left, right, up. And basically what happened is you hear a ch-ch, and you'd be like, okay, look at the camera. There he is. Close the door. Done. That was it. And he'd be like, shh, okay. He must have left, check the camera, yeah, he's gone, open the door, cool. But then all of a sudden it'd be, and you had to figure out where he stopped at, so I'd be like, okay, he stopped on left, look at the camera, no, he was at the right. And that happened so much, and it was so irritating, but, yeah, it just sums it up. So, my thoughts on all of them, Five Nights at Freddy's, let's see, 1, 2, 3, and 4, it was, I have the general same opinion of all of them. 1 was, like, really fun and cool, how there was like only 4 of them. 2 was frantic because there's like all sorts of ones. 3 was the least scary but the most strategic, so I liked that one more. Actually, yeah, being 100% honest, I don't know if I could pick favorites, but I liked the strategery in the 3rd one. The 4th one, it scared me the most. 100%, I will admit, scared me the most, just because like, okay, so visual got it down 100%. Sounds? That scares me way more. And like the idea of like, don't look at them. Or like, you know, close the door and don't look at them. And then, I'll talk about Sister Location in a bit. But yeah, I had a lot of fun with it. And if I recall correctly, oh yeah, this is where Facebook and Twitter started too. So the original idea, oh, and my, the indie games I should talk about as well. So let's start with the indie games. The indie games was, there's all these games on Steam that I really wanted to play, but I didn't have time for, or slots for, since I was only doing 2 series at a time. So I wanted to play them and just devote like an episode or 2 to each one, or like at most 4 kind of thing. So I started doing them with Five Nights at Freddy's. And yeah, I really enjoyed doing that. I added a lot more variety. And then comes Facebook and Twitter. So the original idea was that Facebook was going to be like the official business part of my YouTube channel. That if there's any announcements or polls or things like that, they come out on Facebook. And then Twitter would be where I posted my own silly things. I'll admit, I have not used either to the most of my ability like I should be. Like, what do I do? Sometimes I post some like gameplay shots on Twitter with like a joke, and sometimes I post those speed drawing things, which is just me drawing a porygon, but just like super sped up, so it's only like a minute. I really liked that. It was a lot of fun, but I wasn't able to do either one consistently, because to be 100% honest, I have a disdain for most social media. I know you're like, but you're making videos on YouTube. Yeah, but on YouTube you make things. Yeah, sure, there's a lot of crap out there, but you make things. Facebook and Twitter and Snapchat and all of them, I just didn't really like them as much. So, I'm not getting Instagram or Snapchat. You can't make me. But I should use Twitter more and I should use Facebook more, because it's a good way for me to talk to you guys. So, I'll get to work on that. Maybe. The next series I should talk about is Metal Gear Solid. So, it started when I was like talking to some people at work just about like, what I was doing on my YouTube channel, and someone was telling me about Metal Gear Solid, and I was like, you know, I always kind of wanted to play those games for myself, and someone, like, you know, just on my own time, and someone said, hey, or someone, well, I should say a friend of mine at work, said, hey, I have an idea, why don't you play all the Metal Gear Solid games, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, in a franchise, all in a row. And I stopped for a second and was like, I did that with Five Nights at Freddy's. It wasn't necessarily on purpose, but I did. And I really liked doing it. It was cool to see how the game changed. And thus, the longer series was born. I don't think I really had a name for it, except I just came up with one now. I'm going to call it the franchise series. So, it's also where we kind of split into like 4 separate series at once. So we had the franchise series, Metal Gear Solid, and I think at the time it was Dark Souls 2. Yeah, it's Dark Souls 2. And then indie game, and then one-off kind of thing. So like the Convoy, the Fast and Light, the Spooky's House of Jump Scares, but I think the name actually changed due to legal, something like that. No Man's Sky, that kind of, I hate No Man's Sky, but that's where the, that's kind of where like the split happened between the two. And ever since I played what I did, Metal Gear Solid 1, 2, 3, Peace Walker, because while I was doing it, a friend of mine was like, dude, play Peace Walker, the story's fantastic. So I was like, alright, sure, I'll do it. And then I was like, oh, this is fantastic. And now I'm on 4, and I loved it to no end. It's a lot of fun. Like, okay, that was a bad statement, was it? Like, it's a lot of fun. It has been a lot of fun doing the series, and it's really cool to see how it changed, because I kind of walked in cautious, of like, okay, I don't know exactly what it's going to be like. I think it was like 15, it was after like the first episode, so like 15, 20, 30 minutes in, you know, that kind of range, I was like, this is the best game ever. And then, going through the series, my love has only increased for Metal Gear Solid. And yeah, I really like the idea of doing a franchise and over time playing it. Eventually though, Five Nights at Freddy's ended and came Undertale. Undertale is also a lot of fun. It's like the indie game of the ever. And the idea was originally I was going to do a pacifist, a genocide, and another pacifist. Or it was like a neutral, a pacifist, a genocide. I forget exactly. Yeah, those started at the same time because I remember they're actually part of the same intro, I want to say, that Ethan helped me with. And Ethan was kind of my scout for it. And then, like, so I did the pacifist, I did the genocide, and then I was like, alright, so now I do another pacifist, right? And, Ethan was like, okay, so I looked into it for you, man. It's not actually worth doing another pacifist. It's different, but it's it's only different very, very, very slightly. So you might as well just, you know, you might as well just, like, call it good. And then I was like, oh, no, I don't want to do it. So I did an epilogue video. That epilogue video was originally going to be, like, 40 minutes, but I cut it down to 20, and it was just, like, me screaming through the pacifist all at once again. It was a lot of fun, though. Like, not genocide. Genocide's a lot of fun. No, Undertale as a whole was super fun. I really enjoyed it. I remember, like, a few people talking to me when they saw the genocide playthrough. I was like, oh my goodness, were you actually crying? I was like, a little bit. Yeah, I was crying, actually, a little bit. But I had a blast with Undertale, and it kind of, like, solidified the dual series thing. Because Undertale, indie games, and then Metal Gear Solid, and what was the next one after that? Dark Souls 3. Yeah, so when I was done with Dark Souls 2, and I was like, I'm not gonna say I was happy it was done because I had a great time doing it, but I was also excited when it was done because I was like, Dark Souls 3 now! And yeah, I love Dark Souls 3. And in case you guys are wondering, yes, I know there's another DLC for it, and I'll talk about that later. So yeah, then it carried on to Metal Gear Solid 2, Metal Gear Solid 3, started Peace Walker eventually, Dark Souls 3, going through Undertale, going through all those. It was all going well and good. By then, I really figured out, I don't want to use the word formula, but I figured out my style, and I figured out kind of like what I needed to do, my work ethic and stuff. Oh, something I actually forgot to mention. During Five Nights at Freddy's was when I started doing like the ending highlights thing, where like the song played and yeah, the song played and there was like highlights from either a series from like an opposite series. So for example, Five Nights at Freddy's it kind of showed off the one-offs, and that kind of whole setup. I'll post a link to the website of the guy that I used. I forget his name at the moment, but he was fantastic, worked really well with me. Like, he wanted to make sure it was the perfect song that I wanted, super nice, and I definitely recommend going to him for business if you ever want a song. Will I get a new song? So, since it's been like a year or so. Probably not. Probably not, I don't know, I still like it. So, yeah, but I really like those like, ending highlights things. There's a problem with them, though. One, they're kind of long, and two, YouTube cards kind of ruined it because it was based to work with annotations, not YouTube cards. So I don't know if I need to like slow it down, like really shorten it, or like mess with the highlights. I'm not entirely sure. So what you guys think in the bottom? If not, I'm just gonna brainstorm until I figure it out, or be stubborn and just keep doing it. Let's see. Then after that was Doom, and I'm gonna be honest. I played Doom just because I needed a game that felt good and that I knew would feel good, and I never played Doom personally. And similar to Bioshock, it was getting back into a new genre, and I loved Doom. It was bloody, it was gory. I want to say I played it on the hardest difficulty I could, bar the one that's like, if you die once, you die forever. But yeah, I loved Doom to absolutely no end. It was a blast. Haha, it was a blast. And then after, I think it was Dark Souls 3, we started, or was it after Dark Souls 3? I forget. We started Fatal Frame. So, my friend Sullivan, the guy who does Fatal Frame with me, he wanted to start his own YouTube channel, so we decided to do a collaboration for fun, because he was a really good friend of mine, and we would joke together all the time, so we were like, comedically compatible, I believe the term is. I don't know exactly how comedically compatibility works, but we worked really well together. And the original idea was we were going to do Fatal Frame 2 Crimson Butterfly on my channel, and Fatal Frame 5, I believe it is, Main of Blackwater. Main of Blackwater was on the Wii U, Crimson Butterfly was on the PlayStation 2. And it was one of those situations that Fatal Frame 2 was known as one of the bestest horror games ever. And Main of Blackwater was the newest iteration in the series. It was actually, we originally weren't going to do it, but Erin, now my wife, was like, yeah, you gotta play this. This horror game series is amazing. I'm not even gonna try to do her accent or like how she talks, but it's like, the horror game series is amazing. You will love it. You guys gotta play it together. And we put it off for a while until there was eventually like an opening, and I was like, I'm nervous. Five Nights at Freddy's did me like, Five Nights at Freddy's hurt a lot. All right, let's do this. So yeah, the original idea was, as I said, Man of Blackwater would go on his channel, Crimson Butterfly would go on my channel. However, life happened, and we finished both series, but he wasn't able to like edit them and get them out of his channel. So we're kind of talking now, we're thinking maybe someday in the future, we're going to start posting them on my channel, and maybe someday in the future he'll join me on this channel, Level Up Max Gaming, and he'll like do his own solo series, maybe we'll do multiplayer games together, that kind of thing. So nothing set in stone yet, other than that we're finishing Crimson Butterfly, which, okay, so we talk about it in the credits of each of the games, our full opinions. I like the games, but I have a lot of complaints. It was a lot of fun. It was a ton of fun recording Sullivan, but I have my complaints. So then after Doom came, let's see, how do I describe it? Okay, so we got like a normal series, right? And then a franchise series, and then we have a normal series, and we have like random mini games, right? So there were so many games that came out that I really wanted to play that we kind of got rid of the one-off. I should call them the one-off series. We kind of got rid of the one-off series, and once I finished off Doom, we started two different games. Pokemon Moon, Nuzlocke challenge, and Five Nights at Freddy's Dislocation. With Five Nights at Freddy's Dislocation, it was kind of the same format as before, and as I mentioned, there was a rant video about my full opinions on it. If you want to see it, you know, I'll post a link in the description. But don't mind me, I'm gonna burp. It's like, I was building up. But there we go. Five Nights at Freddy's Dislocation was indeed a lot of fun. I really enjoyed it. And then with Pokemon Moon Nuzlocke, the reason we decided to, oh yeah, and by the way, I should mention, like, Pokemon Moon got way upgraded from Omega Ruby, because we got, like, the bar that, like, show my current Pokemon, camera, top screen, bottom screen. It's all, like, stylized and looks really cool. I really like how it turned out, to be 100% honest. And the reason I chose a Nuzlocke was because, as I mentioned before, I was really focused on, like, catching every single Pokemon I saw and stuff like that. So by making it a Nuzlocke, I kind of made it so I didn't have to catch Pokemon as much. And even the ones I did, it was a lot more tense. It was a lot more real, if you will. And the fact that, like, if a Pokemon fainted, it died, that also made everything way more real. It really raised the stakes, raised the difficulty, made it a lot more interesting, made it a lot more real, and I never personally completed a Nuzlocke, so that's why I was like, hey, this looks like a lot of fun. I think we should do this. And, well, when I say I think we should do this, I'm the only one making that decision. But I was like, I really want to do this. This is gonna be really, really cool. And we're still doing it now, and feedback is wonderful. You guys love the series, and I love doing it. I was actually just editing a bit today and, like, crying over different Pokemon that died. You'll learn about that later. But yeah, it's a lot of fun, and I really love doing it. And actually, we're really approaching present day. Like, what's next? Metal Gear Solid Peace Walker Granted, which was a ton of fun. That last episode was kind of painful though, and then Metal Gear Solid 4, however a lot of the footage melted, so I'm gonna have to rebuild it. But a little bit, like the bit I played, it's been a long time since I recorded Metal Gear Solid 4, but it's a blast. I love doing it. Let's see, we started For Honor once Five Nights at Freddy's Dislocation was done. We started For Honor, and look at the multiplayer servers. It's like a ghost town in comparison to what it started as, but it was a lot of fun campaign-wise. I don't regret doing it. So we'll be working on that. Fatal Frame 2 Crimson Butterfly still going on, and yeah, then we had our 100 subscriber special, which was a lot of fun. However, you know, it was like a lot of fun, and I go like this, but in the future, if I do something like that, I'm gonna focus entirely on hot sauce because I was not predicting myself to like choke on those dried peppers. So just hot sauce, just you know, like that. It's a lot easier. It's a lot quicker. But I had a lot of fun doing that, surprisingly. And yeah, Metal Gear Solid 4, For Honor, Fatal Frame 2 Crimson Butterfly, Pokemon Moon, and yeah, the vlog, and we're at present day. So thinking back, a lot of things have changed. Just an incredible amount. Starting from, you know, Pikmin, where I was literally just beating my head against the wall, and to over time, like, looking at other YouTubers and kind of, like, learning about them, and learning about... I'm trying to think of the best way to say this. Learning from their mistakes, or seeing what they've done, thinking about my past, and being like, oh, that's why they did that. And just trying to learn from them in general. It was a lot of fun just growing over that. How the polygons rapidly changed, how the posters changed, how the descriptions changed, how, you know, before I like wrote out everything, and now, yeah, now I just have that quote, only just like a little blurb and some links, and that's it. Kind of more hands off, and like how in the beginning I was like, oh, I must be the guide, I must be the walkthrough, and then just like drifting away more and more into being like, I want to play games that I want to play. I want to play games that I haven't played before. Now I know you're like, oh, but you did Skyrim. Skyrim was pretty much the last guide. Yeah, actually, yeah, looking at this. Okay, so I did Skyrim, and then sure, I played Majora's Mask before, but all these other games, actually, yeah, down the line, every single one of these other games I haven't played before. So definitely you can see a shift in things. How I started doing educational videos, and then that kind of fell off. Then I started doing animations, and that fell off, or like other silly things. And like the Jaw Heart video, I don't know why I did that, but I just felt compelled, so I did. It was fun, even though a lot of people didn't like it. It was fun. I don't regret doing it. And then like doing the reviews, and that fell off. So yeah. The channel kind of changed from, how best do I describe this? it changed from being educational to being about being fun. And I know that sounds weird, that's like, oh, you can be educational and you can be fun. But I realized that if people wanted, like really wanted, to get a guide, there were people that were much smarter, much better at teaching, much better at explaining than I could. Because many of the things that I was doing to make a guide, I was looking up other guides to do them. That's perpetuating the same knowledge, it's not making anything new. So that's why I wanted to focus more and more on, this sounds really lame and corny when I say it, touching as many people's lives as possible in a positive way. It was something actually that that my dad explained to me. I said it like my dad died. No, my dad's still with me. He's still alive. Well, he's not with me in Japan, but you know what I mean. He's still alive. But something he imparted upon me was that life is so short. There's so little time we have that it's only, I'm trying to think how to word it. It's only worth impacting people's lives in a positive way. You meet people every day on the street that you're never going to see again. Or you might like casually chat with someone you'll never see again. And it's better to have a positive influence on their lives than a negative one. Even like to make someone smile, to make someone laugh, or compliment them on their hat, say good morning. It's about positively impacting people's lives. And when you said that to me, I was like super young and I was like, okay, yeah, cool, whatever. But then like I started thinking about it more and more, and as I got older, I started thinking about that more and more. Yeah, the other thing he told me, only break one law at a time. It's an important rule. And you're like, wait, what? How's that an important rule? Okay, well think about it like this, right? So speeding is legal, right? Right. Okay, so, and then having a broken taillight is illegal, right? Right. So if you have a broken taillight and you're going to the place to fix it, you shouldn't be speeding, so if someone does pull you over, be like, I am literally going there right now. Plus, like sure you may be like, oh, I need to speed to get away if I'm a criminal. Yeah, but you're just adding charges on yourself. But that's beside the point. That's beside the point. One of the many things my dad has taught me. But that was a guitar. But the big thing he imparted me was that I should try to impact as many people's lives in a positive way as possible. Either like constructively, bettering society, or just making people laugh and smile. And that's kind of what this channel turned into. It turned into more like I should say my opinions on games and like the game industry, and also entertaining people, making them laugh. And that's really what I want to do. I don't know if YouTube will ever become a career for me, but I want to share that joy. The joy of adventure. The joy of just smiling, laughing at jokes, silly jokes. Like, I don't have to sit here and just swear 24/7 to make people laugh. It's just about making people smile. I know you may be thinking, like, you just repeat yourself 5 times, and maybe some of that was contradictive, but it's just what I want to do. I just want to help people. I want to help people by making their lives better. Because society as a whole is getting real depressing. It's getting real dark, getting real angry. Everyone's shouting at everyone, and I just want to entertain people. I just want to touch people's lives in a positive way. So, yeah, I know that may seem like a weird way to say, like, where you want to take your channel to focus more on entertaining people, but it's true. It's what I want to do. So you may be wondering, what games are we thinking in the future? Well, I know you haven't really seen much of Erin, but me and her actually recorded a full series together. We did Siren Blood Curse. That'll be coming up after Fatal Frame 2 Crimson Butterfly. It was a lot of fun. However, even though we got really mad at the game, it was still a lot of fun. And also, let's see, after Metal Gear Solid, when that's finally done, I really wanted, I was looking at all sorts of different series, and then I felt inclined to, a friend mentioned to me, if I liked Fatal Frame, and I was like, in general, yeah. And they're like, okay, well, here's another game you'd like, and they told me about Silent Hill. So the next series will actually be Silent Hill 1, 2, 3, and Downpour. I'm thinking Downpour because it's the only one I have on PS3. But it's just kind of have Japanese made and American made, and Downpour is a lot more recent. So that'll be the next one for that, which will be pretty cool. And what else? Erin also joined me on, I mentioned there's gonna be more Dark Souls, right? So Erin joined me on the first few episodes of Neo. However, because of distance and we're not sure how we're going to do things, we weren't able to record the rest of it together. So for first, I think 6 or 7 episodes of Neo, she's with me. and then the rest will be just me. So, did I say officially I'm doing Neo? I'm doing Neo! I played a little bit of it. It's a ton of fun. I'm surprised the internet's still not exploding over it, because I loved it. And, what else? Are we going to be doing any other Dark Souls games? Yes, we're going to be doing Dark Souls 1, Demon Souls, Bloodborne, and Sultan Sanctuary. Now, I know, like, you might look at some of those and be like, but those aren't, like, Dark Souls 1, 2, and 3. Yeah, but they're Soulsy, Dark Souls clone-esque games, and I love them. And yes, I played Dark Souls 1 before, but it's been years. And Bloodborne, same kind of thing. I don't know why I did this. But Bloodborne, same kind of thing. I started Demon Souls. I was going to do a review of it, but then I just never got around to finishing it. And, Sultan Sanctuary, I haven't played it. I saw a little gameplay, though, and it's like 2D Dark Souls, so I was like, that sounds really cool, and I want to do it. So, we'll be doing that. Also, let's see what else. Eventually, me and Aaron want to do Breath of the Wild and Horizon Zero Dawn together. We think that'd be a lot of fun. However, we should also point out that, Legend of Zelda Wind Waker and Legend of Zelda Skyward Sword, those games are way on back burner. 100%, like, excuse me, super duper duper on back burner. Just because, as I said before, we're moving away from playing games I've already played before. Bloodborne and Dark Souls are going to be an exception because I'm going to play them, like, so whenever I play those kind of games, I'm always like pure speed, pure dexterity, pure power. In those games, I'm going to play them way differently. Plus, it's been years since I played Dark Souls, as I said, and I don't think I ever got around to the Bloodborne DLC. So, that's going to be what I'm going to do when I get to those. When? I don't know, but I'm going to get to those eventually. And then, yeah, Wind Waker and Skyward Sword, maybe in the future, but how high of a priority is it? Oh, is my hand in the shot? It's like, am I even centered? I don't even know. But, like, how high of a priority is it? So here's all the other games. There's Wind Waker and Skyward Sword. It's way low on the spectrum. But will I do them eventually? Maybe. Also, Shadow of the Colossus, I really want to do Eco and The Last Guardian, since I think that'd be a lot of fun. And looking at my list, yeah, that's about it for future games. I just kind of wanted to give you guys like a little insight. I don't know what games the order is going to be in, how we're going to do them, if it'll be immediate or later, or even if those games will be canceled, but that's generally what we're thinking. And I'm really excited for it. I'm really excited to see what the future holds. And also, I know I kept saying it, will I ever do reviews again? Yes. Do I have the time or energy? Debatable. So, yes, I want to do reviews more in the future, but it's just hard. It's hard to do it. And, you know, once again, full-time job, college, and other videos. But I do want to get back into doing them. And in fact, I bought a GameCube and a ton of different games for the sole purpose of wanting to do reviews. But, yeah, it's just a matter of getting around to it. So, yeah, I kind of repeated myself a bunch by saying my goal is to entertain people and touch people's lives as much as possible, talking about the games I want to do and reviews that I want to do someday. But I should also take some time to say thank you. Just thank you guys so much for being with me, for, encouraging me, inspiring me, watching my videos, giving feedback and stuff. Just, like, I feel weird having my hands like this, but just thank you so much. It means the world to me. 100%. The fact that I've touched your guys' lives, like your guys' and gals' lives already, it just makes me so happy. And knowing that, like, in the future, I'll be able to touch many other people's lives. So, yeah. And, I also wanted to kind of, like, name drop a few things. Not necessarily everyone, but, I just want to thank, like, my family and friends, my wife. I almost said my wife, Ethan. My wife, Erin, my friends, Ethan and Sullivan, and my family, for letting me, like, bounce ideas off them giving me ideas, and them stopping me from doing bad ones. Like, there was some series I was gonna do, and I forget who it was, but I think it was, like, Sullivan, who was just like, no, don't do that. What do you mean, don't do it? But, yeah, thank you guys so much for inspiring me. And then, once again, on my piece of paper, I have some YouTubers to thank. I don't know if they will ever see this, but I still want to thank them, because you guys are inspirations to me. So, there's two separate groups, two primary groups. First off is Markiplier, Game Grumps like Danny, Aaron, when John Chon was on the show, Barry, Ross, Susie, all those people. PB&G Gameplay, ProJared Plays, and yeah. all you guys, for those of you who don't know, those are all Let's Players. And they have inspired me, helped me in so many different ways that I couldn't say them all. Like, Markiplier has helped me many times when I'm feeling down or unsure if, like, I should keep going, or, like, if I want, times I felt like giving up on YouTube, to be 100% honest. But, like, Markiplier has inspired me with that, taught me to make sure that if no one else is having fun, I'm at least having fun. Which sounds selfish, but it's like, if you're not having fun, other people will see it. So make sure whatever you're doing, you enjoy it and you're having fun. And like his words of encouragement, I know it's like, oh, well, he hasn't talked to you directly. He puts out a lot of encouragement videos like that. Game Grumps for making the most fun out of everything, being willing to play everything, and like putting your own personality and story into it. And then PBG Gameplay, which has Peanut Butter Gamer and Space Hamster, Hammy, and whatchamacallit, Pro Jared Plays. You guys have inspired me. You guys have inspired me too, because they're all also part of the next group, but they also make time to do these like Let's Plays, and it's a lot of fun to see them, and I love watching all your guys' videos to no end. The other group is Peanut Butter Gamer, Space Hamster, Pro Jared, as I mentioned before. Let's see, The Escapist magazine, primarily from The Escapist magazine, Zero Punctuation, Kadekarus, Game Theory, the Jaywits, JonTron, yeah, those guys. Oh, and that one video gamer, the completionist, that one video gamer who's also known as the completionist. These are all people that like do a lot of things, but one of the things they do is reviews or like thought-provoking videos and stuff like that. You guys, I love your work so much, and it inspires me to want to make reviews myself, because I see your guys' personalities so much in your videos. And like, don't get me wrong, I love doing gameplays. I really like doing gameplays, but it's so cool to like make something that's entirely you, talking about a game or talking about a movie or show or whatever, but it's all you. And it inspired me to want to do reviews of my own. I really enjoy your guys' videos a lot. Yeah, I don't really know what else to say on that. Just thank you guys so much. Please keep making videos. I'll keep watching. I'll keep making videos so that hopefully I can inspire, motivate, and teach people just like you inspire, motivated, and taught me. And yeah, that kind of sums up this video. I know a lot of it was rambly, a lot of it was like odd information. If you guys are curious, you know, as I go through this timeline, if you want to go back, it's a well-known thing that like, okay, so maybe I shouldn't say well-known, but an artist always hates his or her earlier work. Like, you see something you made forever ago, and people are like, this is great, and you're like, that's terrible. I feel the same way, especially with my channel. If I had to choose a moment where I'd be okay with you guys starting, maybe Ocarina of Time and Pokemon X, but maybe instead just start around like Shadow of the Colossus forward. Not even Shadow of the Colossus, like Omega Ruby forward, and skip Skyrim. But it's so weird seeing where I've come, and I don't plan on stopping. I don't plan on stopping anytime soon. I like making the joke to my friends, like, I have not been paid a single dollar to do this, but I love doing it. And it's so great to try to entertain people in the best way that I can. Playing video games and just being myself. So, yeah, I hope you guys enjoy kind of like this, this retrospective slash, like, looking into my mind of how the channel started, my logic for it, where I've come, and all sorts of things. If you guys have any suggestions to change my channel in any way whatsoever, please comment. Tell me what you guys think, because ultimately, you know, I could sit here with my own ideas and be like, oh, I want to do this, and I want to do this, and I want to do this. If you guys don't like it, then I should work on it. Doesn't mean I should like only do things you guys want to do. I should still have artistic freedom to say, I'm going to do this because I want to do this. If you guys have any suggestions to better the channel, or like games that you specifically want me to play, like sure, I just told you like, oh, I want to play Eco and Breath of the Wild and Bloodborne and Neo and Burp and Silent Hill. Why am I so burpy? And Silent Hill and stuff. I tell you I want to play them, but if you guys all really want me to play a game, I'm going to play it. I'm going to look into it, since I ultimately want to make you guys happy. So I know I just contradicted myself there, but I hopefully hopefully the message got through of like, I want to do, like, I'm gonna do my own thing. If you guys have suggestions in any way, shape, or form, I will listen to them and think about them very strongly and deeply and see what I can do. So, yeah. Aspirations, hopes, and future of just helping people, entertaining people, everything. I have been talking for, how long have I been talking? I've been talking for about an hour 20 in raw footage. This video probably is going to be just about that long too. So yeah, thanks for listening everyone, and whatever video you guys see next, I'll see you then.